Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, I want to go discuss the Asian markets, how the Asian markets may affect the current and future stock, and just more details on just all of this in general. I did make a video on this maybe around a week ago or so at this point, I'm going to try my best to get a little more into more of the new information and talk about just my overall speculation thoughts, how restocks will be affecting the American markets, how they may be affecting the Canadian and European markets, as well as just overall a lot of my thoughts on all this going on. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. As always, leave your comments down below if you guys want to go and give your speculation, your thoughts, or if I get anything wrong. You're always welcome to leave a comment down below. Like the video if you guys like these types of topics. Of course, we'll have a lot of more restocking news and videos just in general. I actually made like a Mr. Beast video on the channel. I did some Amazon stuff and made a lot of stuff last night if you guys want to check those out as well. Also, guys, don't forget we are giving away a PS5, so make sure you guys are subscribed or put on notifications if you guys are still trying to actually go get a PS5. And of course, Amazon, always linked down below if you guys want a chance to get the actual Amazon and actual console from Amazon. As well as on top of that, both the Coinbase and Webull linked down below in case you guys are trying to get free stocks or cryptocurrency linked down below. Twitter and Twitch stream as well. All right, long intro, but let's get into it. So guys, there's a few different things I want to go and talk about in this video, as I mentioned. So I want to go and more so kind of focus on the Asian markets at the start of this, because as of now, there's a few more indicators on why the stock has been so low here in America. And that's okay. Especially for me, I've mentioned many times, I think it is fair that other regions such as the UK, Europe, Canada, Australia, especially Indonesia, and all these places, India, China, Japan, deserve to actually have the consoles too. But it does also go and affect us because that does make the supply for the consoles a little bit more scarce. As I mentioned before, I made a few previous videos on this, but I'm more so focused on Japan. And in this video, I want to go discuss some other things such as the Indian PS5 and some other things too as well. So my first topic, they're actually getting stock, which is good. So when it comes to that, India, if you guys do not know, India is actually getting their pre-orders available on the 12th. So that means just a few more days away, basically India will be now entered into the mainstream PS5 market, which for the past few months, they have not actually had a chance to get the consoles or pre-order the consoles. Now, I'm sure you guys all know, but India is a very big powerhouse when it comes to the actual, well, how many people live there. The percentage of all people living in the world is definitely really high up in India. So that's going to be one major factor that's going to go and probably affect a lot of stock. But also on top of that too, there's other Asian countries that are also finally getting into that too as well. Indonesia is definitely one of them, and a few of those other smaller countries are finally getting able to get into the stock itself. Some other previous countries too have been able to go get stock for a while, but as you guys all probably know, the stock's been very low and very limited. On the previous videos, we talked about Japan actually getting other consoles too as well. But as of this point, Japan has still basically not gotten too many more restocks since that past video. But I want to go and say that all these areas are speculated to actually go be the next major focus for Sony to have a chance to get all their consoles in general. So as I mentioned before, the Indonesian market is going to be getting consoles soon, but same with India. With India having their pre-orders coming up really, really soon as well, that basically means that they're going to have to go and prioritize the stock, especially compared to taking them away from the American markets. I do also want to go and give an update video on this whenever we actually find out how much stock is available from the Indian pre-order or how many Indian pre-orders are actually sold, because I think that will definitely go and affect the actual overall market as well, especially if they want to go, aka Sony wants to go and focus more on the Japanese and Chinese markets as well. As you guys probably know, the Asian markets are very, very big money makers just because the amount of population there is very, very, very big, especially in comparison to, say, the United States. Some of these places are 3-4 times as big as the United States in terms of pure population. And also factor in multiple different places, such as China, Japan, Indonesia, India, etc. It gets very, very big in the whole world population. So that's one thing we want to be on the note for, is that now since there's other places also competing with stock, on top of both the Europe, UK, Canada, Australia, etc., still having very, very low stock, as well as South America, I think that may make everything a little bit more heated and hard for us in America to get more stock. I've touched on this in previous videos, but I think especially now that the Indian market is now slowly getting into the fray, it's going to make things even harder. So one thing we want to maybe make a note on is when it comes to the actual stock all around, the stock is going to be going everywhere. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard that there's production issues, and Sony keeps on having production issues going on with all of this. And that's not good for us in America. I do want to also reiterate that I'm okay with other markets getting consoles. I want gaming to be for everyone, and that's why I'm giving away a console to one of you guys to hopefully give a higher chance for someone who's still having issues getting their consoles. One major focus, and I made this comment on the previous videos I've made in case you missed it, is that Sony basically is trying to focus more on the Japanese market. That's one market that they've always been very, very, very prevalent in. And as of right now, I think there's only been 270,000 consoles sold. There's been a very small uptick, but overall, it's still been a very, very low percentage of the markets. In comparison, there's been millions sold up here in America already. And I'm not really sure why Sony wants to focus so hardcore into the American markets, because I do sometimes feel like they have slightly better profit margins depending on the different areas. More so, if some of these things are being produced in China, it's a lot more easier to go and send those out to Chinese or Asian markets as they're in that own locale. Plus, there's also no weird tariffs or anything like that mixed on into. Of course, Americans, as you guys know, are very big spenders, so that may be a big thing as well. But if you guys also realize a lot of Chinese markets, a lot of people use, more so Asian markets, a lot of them also are very heavy into microtransactions, which is definitely something I think Sony would like to go and push to in terms of pure profitability. So when it comes to the actual American stock, as I mentioned, all these Asian countries are going to be definitely taking stock, and Sony definitely wants to prioritize some of them as well. Like I mentioned, and they've mentioned in articles as well, they want to definitely prioritize Japan for sure. But also when it comes to other places, there are a very, very big supply issue when it comes to other places. When it comes to the UK still has barely had any more major restocks. And even though we've been making a few videos discussing that, there's been a lot of rumors that were originally started on the 7th. And as of now, a lot of those have still not come to fruition, and they may not come to fruition for another week or so, depending on what place is getting stock and how long it takes for stock. So if you also factor that into America, as of right now, we're still on a big drought in terms of actual consoles available, which is always not a good sign because all of us want to get our consoles and overall. There has been a few major retailers that actually have restocks, especially say GameStop and Best Buy. The last Best Buy restock was very big and very massive, and I would say probably one of the biggest ones. I made a video on that discussing how it was one of the biggest ones in 2021, I'd imagine so far, and for quite some time. But also, if you factor in on all these other locales getting stock, I really think this is going to be a lot harder. So the main focus on this, and probably what you guys are curious on, is right here in this video, is how are all these markets going to affect the American restocking? So with the PlayStation 5, as you guys notice, there's still like a very high demand. And I almost am very worried that the demand is going to go even up higher soon because the supply is going to keep on going down and down and down. Now, I do definitely think there's going to be a lot more of actual stock showing on up. As you guys know, we've been kind of following the Target rumors, Walmart rumors, and potential for more walk-ins, etc. in the near future. But that still is really hard when it comes to companies like Sony to keep on producing that, especially when they have to make consoles worldwide. Especially if you go and factor in for the previous generations, that some previous Sony generations for the PlayStations have sold almost over hundreds of millions of consoles. And so, like, as of right now, we're still in the single digits. Now, granted, it's still the very early launch week, but still. So that's one major thing we're going to have to worry about, is that since Sony keeps on having to go and rotate demand, as of right now, the UK and Europe markets have been so dry that they have to go and prioritize that. As well, also on top of that, too, Canadian markets, they sometimes have to prioritize that, too, as well, because they've been very, very dry. America, I think, so far has been very spoiled in terms of we've gotten a lot of different restocks. We've had consistent restocks. We've also had Sony Directs. We've also had PS Directs. We've had Walmart, Target, Amazon, all these places going and restocking. In comparison to, say, like I mentioned this before, it's just for the scale of comparison, one Best Buy drop could have been bigger than all of the people who have gotten the actual consoles in, say, Japan. Or we could also go and, like, once again mention, we can go and see how low the supplies have been for some places like Malaysia, for Indonesia, and other Asian continents, or even Australia. I would almost want to fathom that some of, like, 1 day or 1 week of supply here in America might be bigger than, say, in all of Australia that they've all gotten ever since they basically have no restock since the actual drops have happened. So I really do think, kind of like I mentioned before, the main summary for a lot of this is I do think a lot of the actual Asian markets are really going to be seeping a lot of actual consoles from us. Now, I'm a restock channel, so I'll gladly go and cover up any leaks and speculations for sure. But I do really think with all these other areas getting so much more attention, and especially the Indian one is the most important one for us to focus on. The Indian, like, restock, or basically first initial wave of stock, is gonna be soaking a lot of consoles. And I would almost not even doubt that the next probably like 2 to 3 weeks after the Indian pre-order is actually live, that it will be very, very dry here in America. Now, I also may always be wrong, and I hopefully am. But if you have to go and factor in, and like this is why I mentioned in this video, we have to go and see how much India is actually going to pre-order and pre-sell, how long those stocks are going to be up, etc. If they're up for a long time, and there's multiple millions of consoles sold throughout all the major retailers in India especially, then I think the American people may be in for a somewhat hard time, because if they have to go and supply 2, 3, 5 million consoles, that's all going to be stock that could be going to America and is not going to. And once again, I do want to reiterate that I'm okay with that. I think other locales should be getting consoles. If anything, I think it's mostly on Sony's end that they need to go and actually make more consoles and produce more consoles as well. But it's a very, very, very scary time for us that are still trying to go get our consoles, because if we have a lot more demand in other regions, they may want to go and focus on other regions instead of us in the West, because we've had many, many weeks of consistent restocks. As I mentioned, this does not mean that our restocks are going to go low. There will still be restocks happening on Amazon, Target, Walmart, Best Buy, but they may be a little bit less frequent or just in bigger waves in maybe 2 to 3 week periods, kind of how we've been seeing so far, with a lot of these places going and basically restocking every 2 to 3 weeks. But I do want to go and reiterate and say that I'm okay with it. But with the Asian market slowly getting more stock, some places are finally opening their pre-orders, and that Sony does have to go and supply this, as well as go and flood the markets for other places such as Japan, China, and other Asian countries, and even the UK and Europe. It may be a little bit harder for us Americans. And as I'm more a pure American-based channel, that's why I'm kind of making this video. So hopefully we'll have a chance to keep on getting stock. I hope the stock will actually be able to go be increased as well. I've been hearing rumors that some factories are going to be replacing over to PS5s as well. So I'm hoping that Sony will be able to go and keep up with that demand. I'm hoping that they'll be able to go and keep on pumping out consoles for everyone. And hopefully we'll have a lot more restocking news for all of us to keep on getting the consoles. But Asian markets are definitely going to be a little bit more scary to be looking to. And they may also be soaking up stock as well. So hopefully we'll have a continuous restocking availability up here in the Western markets. And as well, I hope Sony with increased production can still go and keep on supplying India, China, Japan, and all those other Asian countries the stock that they deserve. So that's my video. Hopefully leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Of course, subscribe for the giveaway and just for restocking news in general. On top of that, leave a comment on your thoughts. I've made previous videos on this before, but I think the Indian markets and other Asian countries also being put into pre-orders right now definitely have a major effect on the market and supply and potential future supply. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on that. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, like I said, for the giveaway and such. Amazon link down below. Follow the Twitter and the Twitch stream if you guys would ever like to say hi. And of course, the both Webull, where you guys verify your account and deposit $100. You guys get a bunch of free stocks, or Coinbase, where if you guys go and sign on up and buy $100 worth of crypto coins, you guys get free Bitcoin. It will always be linked down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll have a bunch of restocking videos up throughout today. Thank you guys for existing. I love you guys, and as always, leave your comments and thoughts down below. I appreciate you guys all so much for watching, and if you guys are in any of these Asian markets, good luck on your actual console drops, especially with India coming out soon, and hopefully all these Asian markets will get all the consoles they deserve, and as well, hopefully all the American markets keep on getting more consoles too, so we can all enjoy our brand new PS5s. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. As I mentioned, lots of restock news. If you guys are curious, you guys can check on the Amazon video from before. I made a Mr. Beast meme video if you guys want to watch that. And we made a bunch of videos last night as well. We'll have a lot more videos up today too on top of that. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Appreciate you guys all for existing. And I'll see you guys all on the next one.